I'm actually going to take a break from the jacket that I'm working on because I had a blast from the past pop up on me this weekend and brought me the original Crown Royal robe. I made this robe years ago, and he was actually the first person I made a Crown Royal jacket for. It was a robe, and it has suffered a little bit of damage. He's got it pinned together. He's been partying in it. So what I'm going to do is take this bad boy apart, and I'm going to redo it. And I'm thinking we're going to do like a blazer or something with a collar. So you guys stay tuned, and I'll keep you updated. I've been taking these apart piece by piece. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. I got the panels divided apart. Some of these are a little older than I want them to be. So I'm just going to go take them all apart and see which ones I can save, which ones I can't save. There might be like the Crown Royal like patch on it that I can maybe put on something else. So it's very important for me to like upcycle all of this, you know, my part of going green. So I'm gonna try to save as much of this as possible. We are gonna need to add some new bags, but I will show you how I'm gonna put this all together, and it's gonna be a brand new jacket. You guys just wait and see. Watch. All right, guys, let me update you. So I'm about halfway through. The jacket's about halfway done. Taking it apart. Lots of holes, lots of bags I'm gonna have to go through and see. Some of them have stains, some of them have rips, some of them have holes. So I'm just gonna go through every one and kind of figure out which one I can save, which one I can't, and I'll keep you posted. So I'm going to show you kind of what that looks like. So right here, there's a seam, and I'm just going to take my stitch ripper and like slowly I just kind of go through, eat some of the stitches up with the ripper, and then after a while, once it's loose, you can pretty much pull them apart. Alright, so this is a little bit of better angle. So I have my thread here. You just kind of rip through it with the stitch ripper. Seam ripper, and then once it's like going, you can just kind of pull it apart. It like gives a little bit, and then you just kind of catch every little thread that's there, and try to save. I mean, most of this is not going to be used, so I'm not being too delicate with you. If it was something that, you know, you messed up on and you were just going back to take the stitching out to redo it, you would want to be a little bit more delicate. But because I know I'm taking this all the way apart and putting it all the way together, I have a little bit more freedom to do more rips, because some of this I won't even be using. So hopefully you got to see some of that. I'm going to get back to work, and I will show you all the bags when I'm done. So this is the end result. I got some a couple of Crown Royals that I cut out of some bags that had some stains on it. These are all going to end up being scrap bags because one reason or another I just thought they were unfit to go back into the jacket. So I might just use like the gold trim to like line it or something like that. And then these are what I have to work with that I'm going to be upcycling into his new blazer jacket that I'm about to start piecing together now. So you'll kind of get to see how I put this together from scratch. All right, guys, here we go. All right, so what I've done now is taken some brand new bags and cut them up as well, because what I'm going to end up doing with these old bags from the robe is I'm going to mix them in with some new bags and try to bring some life to these older bags and see if we can't get them to pop a little bit. Okay, so now that I got all the bags cut apart, what I'm going to do is take some of the older bags and take some of the newer bags and go ahead and kind of checker sew them in, so it'll be like new bag, old bag, new bag, old bag, and try to bring a little bit more life to this jacket, because it is a little faded in some areas, and I think that by adding a few newer bags, it's going to really make it pop. So that's what I'm going to do now, is just take all these long panels and take some of the old ones, some of the new ones, and kind of just sew them all back together. And what I'm going to do is take basically this gold area and just kind of hand stitch it all the way down until I have a couple of panels, and that's what's going to be the bottom base of the jacket. Alright, I've gone ahead and sewn a couple on here. As you can see, if you look on here, it's not the neatest of work. But like I said, I'm going to go back over it with the sewing machine and reinforce it. This is just 3 panels sewn together. I will show you the next couple of updates. As you can see, I got quite a few of the panels sewn together now. This is actually going to be the base of the blazer. And what I'm going to be doing next is cutting out some little kind of shell looking round parts. I'm going to be using these bags. If you look, they're a little fuzzy, they're a little used, so I really kind of don't want to use too much of this bag, but what I'm envisioning is cutting out this little part right here and adding it to this little area to where it has another little curve at the bottom, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So I cut out a few. These are what they look like. It's just the bottom half of these other bags. So what I did was kind of folded it in half and then just cut out a little triangle form, and it came out in the shape of this. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of place these underneath here and then sew them into place. And what it's going to look like is just give it a little bit more dimension, give it a little bit more design. Guys, so I haven't sewn these into place. I've just placed them underneath, but this is the concept for what I'm envisioning to happen, and it's a good way for me to repurpose and reuse those bags, even though they were a little bit more fuzzy than I want. Just that bottom use of it is just enough to give it a little flair and still use part of the bag in a way that I feel, you know, is decorative. Alright guys, so this is an update of what I've been doing. I took a couple of the bags and doubled up on the layers here, sewed all the panels together, and then individually added this on. Down here you can see how I sewed the panels together, and then I went ahead and just added this on along the way and came up with this. Up here, remember I was adding those little tiles to the bottom. I went ahead and added it all the way across, so I have a bigger piece of fabric to play with. Up here I have a couple of crown royal bags that I just kind of sewn together. I'm not sure where I'm going to add this in. I have an idea, but I haven't really figured it out yet. And then I just have 2 more spares. As you can see, I still have more bags to play with. Okay, so I went ahead and pinned down exactly where I wanted these to lay down, because I'm going to load up my sewing machine and put the gold thread in, so that way I can go ahead and reinforce all of these seams individually instead of my little crappy hand stitching that I put in there. And then I'm going to actually sew these down so that they'll all be connected and get ready for the next part of the jacket. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is reinforce these seams. I've got it loaded up, and what I'm going to try to do is go right down the center and try to connect and join these 2 seams so that they are securely fastened to each other. And the stitch that I'm going to use is going to be this one right here, number 10. And that way I'll be able to go back and forth across on this yellow and connect the 2 fabrics together. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over into a straight stitch. I'm going to use number 6, and what I'm going to do is go down here and connect this part, and then I'll detach and connect this side. Okay, so I went ahead and all of these are sewn on here now. So they are in place. I went all the way down. I have some thread cleanup that I need to do. And then I also went ahead and sewed this down and just kind of merged it I have the thread matching so well. You can barely even see that I stitched on top of this sew on here. But it looks good, and the concept that I'm going for will be that this will be going right on top of here, and the bottom of the jacket will be looking like this. Alright, just wanted to give you a little update. So I went ahead and pinned this down to the other fabric. I sewed this down. Up here I went ahead and hand stitched another line to give it some dimension. I still have to connect this area, but I think it's coming along quite nicely. What do you guys think? I'm still going to be building up from here. Alright, latest update. This is how it's coming along. Right now it's just pinned, but I will be sewing it all into place. Just have my pins there of how I was wanting it. Just puzzle piecing everything together. I still have a lot of pieces. Try to see how I'm going to reuse and repurpose his old robe to make a totally brand new blazer. Okay guys, this is a update on the Crown Royal blazer. I've pretty much finished the back. We started off with these large panels. We added these shells in. We went ahead and added these extra lines at the bottom. Add the lines, and then I added 3 more rows of Crown Royal bags, and what I did was checker them just like I did below. So pretty much the back is done. Next thing will be is to work on the sleeves. That's next on my agenda, so just stay tuned and I'll keep you guys posted on what that looks like. Okay guys, so most of the back is finished, so I'm going to take these pieces right here. I got some new bags here and some older bags here, and I'm going to be doing the same thing I did with the other parts of the jacket where I checkered new, old, kind of like blended in together. But I'm going to start working on the sleeve. Okay, so these are the first 2 panels that I finished for the sleeves. So I'm making, 2 sleeves, so I need 2 panels, make sure that they are identical. I'm probably going to mimic the design that I had before, adding the shells to the bottom and then also doing that line at the bottom. Okay guys, so first of all, I want to apologize because I haven't been tuning in with you guys in a while, but that's because I've been in the zone, and when I'm in the zone, I literally cannot stop to film or whatever, because like if I stop, like my creativity just stops with it. So let me catch you up on what I have been doing. But basically I've been just piecing together like I was doing before, as far as like puzzle piecing, how I wanted my design to be. What I did was finish the entire back. So the entire back is done, and I went ahead and did some sleeve work. If you look, the sleeves are pretty much a recreation of what I did on the back. It's the double lines with the little shells, another double line. And then on the front of the jacket, I went ahead and created like this, like it's gonna be the lapel, like the little collar part of the jacket. It took a lot of bags to sew it up, but I got it together. And so I don't know if you can envision it, but this is kind of what that blazer is gonna look like. So, kind of squint your eyes and you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But today it's a rainy day, so I'm probably, most of this is pinned up, so I'm probably going to take it to the sewing machine and just go on it with that same cross stitch that I was using before to put the gold pieces together, and just get everything sealed up and make it look a little prettier. And then that's pretty much it till my friend comes back to town to do a remeasuring. So I've gotten to the point where I can't go any further until I get a fitting done. What I've done is finished doing the sleeves. I've pinned the lapel into place. The front and the back is kind of somewhat, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But what I did do is, because I haven't fitted him yet, I left everything unattached and unpinned. So for example, my sleeve is still open like this, so that way when he comes, I can actually just pin the inside to how thin it needs to be, then go in and go ahead and sew it into place. I'm going to go ahead and put this back to the side, and I'm going to go back to the reversible jacket. I don't know if you guys remember, but that's what I was working on. So pause on this. We'll come back to the blazer. Next time he comes for a fitting, I might even film that so you guys can see how I take my measurements. But that's it so far for this blazer episode. My name is Vanity, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.